A New York notary public is asked to notarize a loan agreement for a corporate client. The notary learns that the corporate client has a financial interest in the loan. What should the notary do to comply with New York law? To help us answer this question, let's have a quick look at Part 182.3 of the Notary Public License Law booklet entitled Requirements for Notaries. And it states here at subsection A, all notaries public who wish to perform notarial acts in New York State must, and we can jump to subsection 5 for the purpose of this question, disqualify themselves from performing notarial acts for transactions in which the notary is a party or directly and pecuniarily interested in the transaction. Pecuniarily meaning financially interested in the transaction. So the key is that the notary cannot have a financial interest. With this in mind, let's have a look at our four choices to determine the solution. Choice A states, notarize the loan agreement as long as the signer is present and identified. Now this would seem to be the correct solution because, as we read before, there's no problem with the corporate client having a financial interest. The issue is when the notary has a financial interest. Because the notary does not have a financial interest here and has properly identified the signer who has appeared before the notary, choice A seems to be our solution. But before we mark it as such, let's have a look at the other three choices just to be certain. Choice B states, proceed with the notarization, but make a note of the company's financial interest in the notarial certificate. Now this is incorrect because the notary public is not required to make any such note, and therefore choice B is not our solution. Choice C states, refuse to notarize the document due to a conflict of interest. Well, there's no conflict of interest here because the notary public does not have a financial interest in the transaction, and therefore choice C is not the correct solution. And finally, choice D states, notarize the document only if an attorney is present to oversee the signing. There is no requirement for the notary public to ensure that there's an attorney present to oversee the signing, and therefore choice D is not the correct solution, which indeed leaves choice A, notarize the loan agreement as long as the signer is present and identified, as the right solution.